InvestorIdeas.com podcast.
Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of InvestorIdeas.com podcast. Today's podcast is sponsored by Cannabis Swiss Corporation, trading on the OTC as CSUI, a fully licensed cannabis cultivation and distribution company in Switzerland for recreational tobacco products and medical CBD oils. Cannabis Swiss grows high-quality organic cannabis with sustainable all-natural principles, and the company's products are laboratory tested to ensure the end users have access to a standardized, safe, and consistent product. Cannabis Swiss proprietary trademark mold standard is a quantitative microbiology method for analyzing yeast and mold counts in harvested cannabis plants, and the Cannabis Swiss proprietary trademark CannaMec is a method for quantifying and removing residual solvents during packaging and storage of CBD products. Cannabis Swiss Corporation currently sells via distribution network of Swiss retailers and online shops under the online retail brand Alpine Cannabis. In today's podcast, going to be looking at a few public company announcements from Cantab Therapeutics Limited, trading on the CSE as PIL and the OTCQB as CTABF. Cannabis Swiss Corporation, our sponsor, trading on the OTC as CSUI. AVCNF Incorporated, trading on the TSX as AVCN and the OTCQX as AVCNF, as well as PCLO Limited, trading on the TSX Venture as PCLO and the OTCQX as PCLOF. So first, starting with Cantab Therapeutics Limited, who announced that pursuant to the filing made in March of 2017, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has issued U.S. Patent number 107728837 to Cantab titled Modified Release Multi-Layer Tablet Cannabinoid Formulations. The term of the patent expires on March 15, 2038. Now, Larry Latowski, the CEO of Cantab, said, "This is a major milestone that confirms our proprietary formulations are unique and differentiated from other product offerings in the global marketplace, which will support a faster revenue stream as we begin production and distribution in the immediate future." Now, this is the first patent that was issued to date out of the 13 that have been applied for and will be leveraged to solidify Cantab's position as the leader in solid dose hard pill formulations of medical cannabinoids. Now, the patent granted is for Cantab's bilayer or multi-layer tablets consisting of both instant release and extended release formulations with THC, CBD, and a variety of terpenes and other cannabinoids found in full-spectrum cannabis and hemp oil resin. Now, Cantab believes that this hardy pilled formulation are superior to all other CBD and THC delivery systems, since they are true pharmaceutical grade delivery systems which provide for superior ingredient stability, enhanced bioavailability, and provide customizable and precise dosing. Cantab believes and intends to prove greater bioavailability through a blood level study at a third-party clinical research organization. And in addition, whether it is for medical, recreational, or nutraceutical purposes, Cantab is able to provide extended release formulations, making it a clear delivery choice for doctors, patients, or the average consumer. Cantab expects this and future patents to be very valuable in developing our strategic partnerships and alliances and in our efforts to secure worldwide distribution of our proprietary products. And as the medical community continues to recognize cannabinoid alternatives to traditional therapies, we will continue to develop innovative approaches to support many clinical applications, continued Latowski. Now, in addition, Cantab is conducting research to confirm its belief that a combined CBD and THC tablet can be effective to treat nicotine, alcohol, cannabis, opioid, and other forms of addiction. And Cantab will be using a derivative of these formulations for the clinical trial with Dr. Donald Garbos from the University of British Columbia, and as previously released in December of 2018. Now, this study aims to demonstrate the potential for the reduction of elimination of the use of opiates in patients during post-operative pain management. And the issued patent covered Cantab's modified release pharmaceutical compositions, and more specifically compositions comprising cannabinoids and a process of preparation thereof, as well as methods for administering and the compositions to human users. Now, the compositions may contain a combination of ingredients in proportions calculated to achieve therapeutic effect. Now, Cantab has filed applications for 13 patents in Canada and the U.S. that cover a range of processes and formulations that it used to create its precise oral delivery hard tablets and fugible medical cannabis. And these patents include Cantab's proprietary nano-emulsification technology, granulation process, methods of manufacturing, covers its full line of precision oral delivery hard tablets, including instant release tablets, extended release tablets, oral dissolvable tablets, and Cantab has also filed a patent for the exclusive formulation of THC and CBD in the treatment of opioid treatment therapy. So they're a company that obviously has filed a lot of patents. Great to see that one has come through for their hard pill formulations. I do think, though, that what we've seen so far with patents within the cannabis industry is they don't hold tons of weight over time. Unfortunately, just because of the nature of the industry so far and how it's being progressed forward, you've seen that a lot of these companies have come out with their own proprietary extraction method or proprietary methodology. And then within a few months, there's several other companies that have a very similar, just not identical formulation or strategy as well. Um, and it tends to just be based off the success of these products. So I do think that if you start to see these CannTab formulations coming out there, being really successful either in the medical or recreational market or both, then you're going to start to have other companies following through on this. And there already are a lot of companies that have similar types of formulations, technology, and delivery methods. There's lots of companies working on instant release, on delayed release, and everywhere in between that. There's lots of companies working on sublingual sprays, on pill formulations. So unfortunately, I will say that it is good that they've gotten this patent through. It obviously gives them some weight and protection within the industry, but I do think it's somewhat of a wasted effort when you've seen that a lot of these don't really sort of make or break any of these companies over time, as everyone has sort of ended up with a lot of the same technology and methodologies moving forward. So it is interesting to see what they're working on, and I do wish them a lot of their success with their treatment for opioid and addiction therapy. I do think that that's something cannabis needs to be more heavily involved in, as well as research more thoroughly. So hopefully they can at least get some of the research data to push that forward. But again, I do think that some of these patents are a little bit overhyped, somewhat within their actual range of what they can affect within this industry and what they can really protect. As again, what we've seen is that a lot of these technologies and innovations get sort of spread out throughout the industry within a very short time once they are accepted by consumers. Next, looking at today's sponsor, Cannabis Swiss Corporation, who announced that the company's online expansion plans, including the upcoming launch of a new brand on Amazon. Now, Cannabis Swiss Corporation is developing its own line of products, including hemp oil, hemp protein, hemp gummies, and hemp hearts, all with the appropriate certifications and licenses for sale on Amazon. Now, this news follows a recent announcement for online distribution of its cannabis and CBD products with UWeed from the retail outlets and online store www.uweed.ch. And the expansion into online sales of hemp gives the company headquartered in Switzerland wider access and inroads into the U.S. markets and the legal environment for CBD products involves. Now, Mr. Alan Perrick, the COO and director, said, Amazon is an important distribution outlet for us as we ramp up our expansion across multiple online retail platforms, including a new line of hemp products, paves the way for additional products in the future. Now, Cannabis Swiss Corporation will be in compliance with Amazon rules in respects to their position that CBD is currently banned on Amazon, but hemp products are not. And the company, as registered a manufacturer of both products, will continue to use flowers with the highest concentration of CBD. And for their new Amazon product line, oil will then be squeezed from the seeds, allowing Cannabis Swiss to use the whole plant in this production and benefit from it. So Cannabis Swiss Corporation going to be involved with Amazon hemp products. I do think that's a really smart play for them to build out their brand within the US and North American markets. We've seen other companies that are in the CBD space take similar approaches where they have a hemp seed oil or hemp-based brand that builds up popularity on Amazon, and then they have their more potent CBD version of it available for their sale through their online site. And that has created a little bit of traction for some of these brands and companies. It does create some confusion. I will admit that as well, that because many people are still uneducated about what they should be buying, what they actually should be looking for, if hemp seed oil is going to be the same as a CBD oil product. That seems preposterous in my brain that people don't know that, but many people are still confused about the difference between those products and what they're buying and what it is actually for. There still is that confusion to date with Amazon-based products, so there is going to be some of that where people might later have some sort of skepticism about the brand after seeing its hemp products on Amazon and then seeing the CBD version available through another online retailer. But I do think in general it's a smart play for building brand awareness, and I think it's only a matter of time before Amazon and other companies like them eventually jump into the CBD space. They're just waiting for regulatory compliance, which does seem to be coming down the pipe very soon. CBD has had a pretty good last 2 years, and I really don't expect it to be dying down. You've seen the sales globally have just skyrocketed this year. Demand for it is at a massive high. And it really seems to be the one element from the cannabis and hemp space that a lot of people just don't debate anymore. The usefulness, the fact that this should be available pretty much everywhere at a pharmacy or grocery store is kind of in most people's minds now. So I do expect that to change within the next 2 years. And I do think it'll be a very quick process for Amazon and other companies like them to jump on board and to fully integrate into that play. Even though there's lots of talk about Amazon trying to distance themselves from the cannabis industry, blah, blah, blah. You can pretty much find the majority of your cannabis accessories through Amazon. You can find tons of hemp oil-based products. You can find pretty much a whole head shop online through Amazon, even though it isn't specifically endorsing that industry. And again, it just seems like a matter of time, and they will be set up for this once the regulations change. So I think that for companies like Cannabis Swiss Corporation, who already have an inlet with Amazon, that'll be an easier avenue for them. Next, looking at AVCNF, who announced its advanced RHO Phyto Rapid Act sprays are now officially available nationwide in Canada on the Medical Cannabis by Shoppers portal, as well as through the Medical Cannabis Real World Evidence Study at the University Health Network. Now, AVCNF's RHO Phyto product line is now commercially available after years of research and development through collaborations with world-class academic and clinical organizations. The development of the RHO Phyto products has focused on the key properties in drug development that healthcare providers seek when recommending a medical product to their patients, such as formulation stability for consistent dosing, enhanced absorption, and a range of onset times. The Rapid Act spray is a sublingual spray and is among the second set of AVCNF's RHO Phyto products available for purchase through shoppers. The sublingual sprays bypass first-pass metabolism and are quickly absorbed into the mucosal lining under the tongue. And the RHO Phyto Rapid Act spray provides an alternative delivery from the RHO Phyto micro drops, also available for sale through shoppers, which are absorbed through the oral route. Now, the RHO Phyto Rapid Act sprays have been formulated with specific ingredients that enhance absorption and the onset time of cannabinoids across the mucosal membrane beneath the tongue, and the lemon mint flavored sprays will be available in 10 to 20 CBD and 2 to 40 THC to CBD ratios. Now, Dr. Justin Grant, AVCNF's Executive Vice President of Scientific Affairs, commented, "The RHO Phyto Rapid Act sprays are designed for faster onset and can be used in acute conditions with patients seek faster relief. The sublingual sprays can also be used to supplement slower and longer acting products such as the RHO Phyto Microdrop when occasional higher doses may be required. Sublingual administration provides an alternative to the potentially harmful effects of consuming inhalation products." Now, in 2020, AVCNF launched its blood orange flavored RHO micro drops. And in the coming months, AVCNF will be launching its much anticipated RHO Phyto Deep Tissue Gel, Daily Cream, and Simple Dose Capsules. And to ensure batch to batch consistency and high quality products, these formulations are manufactured at MetaPharm Labs Incorporated, a GMP certified facility. Detailed guidelines, you can find out more at rhophyto.com as well as avocana.com/the Avocana Academy, and you can also find mycannabisclinic.org to find out more information. Links attached in the article as well. Something I've been discussing for a long time. Obviously, the RHO Phyto sprays have been something I've discussed as they've been researched and developed for the last, I'd say, year and a half probably. And they're a very much anticipated product. As I was talking earlier, a little bit about Cantab and sort of their patents regarding their products. This is sort of the competition. There's lots of other products out there that are working on different activation effects. So fast acting, long acting, different consumption methods, if you will. So bypassing the first pass metabolism and being absorbed through the mucosal lining. There's going to be all these different factors going into these products, but it is about getting products to market fast enough, about the distribution, and as well about the overall quality of the product and if consumers like them. There's been lots of great concept products that have come out to the market that have done really piss poor just because flavors or some sort of minor aesthetic appeal just did not connect with consumers. And then you saw those products sit on the shelves, and then they had to be changed, blah, blah, blah. They don't end up ending up where you expect them to be. I do think that AVCNF's RHO Rapid Act sprays are going to do quite well. I think that them partnering with shoppers, as they have in the past with their other products, has been a really good partnership for them. And I think that this is going to be the benefit for at least a lot of these Canadian-based companies who are working on a lot of these sort of next generation medical focused products that really have precise dosing, precise efficacy, and are really hitting all the marks that you expect pharmacists as well as doctors to look at when they're looking at properly assessing and properly prescribing these medications to patients. So I do think that you're going to see some success out of this. I think that this is definitely the play to make for any of these companies, at least in the Canadian market. And it'll be interesting to see following Cantab Therapeutics sort of product releases to see how they are treated again by consumers. But again, I do think that there's going to be a lot of competition for this space. And I do think that the patents and the sort of overall thought process that you can sort of dominate this market or have a product that's going to extremely outweigh other products within the space is wishful thinking. I think that what we've seen at every step of this industry is that as soon as one thing comes out, you immediately have about 5 or 6 competitors that come out to match it within a very short amount of time, sometimes outpacing that original contender. And I do think that that's what any of these companies need to anticipate, no matter how high concept or well researched or well developed their products are. They do need to think that there's going to be about 20 to 30 competitors within a very short window of time that will probably piggyback on some of their concepts, probably improve upon some of them. So they need to be focused strictly on, is this good? Are consumers liking it? Is it going to be accepted easily? And also, can we continue and replicate this fast enough to meet up with the demand? A lot of difficulties for all those companies facing those sort of next generation products. Speaking of next generation products, leads to our last announcement with PCLO, who announced it's begun sales and distribution of an expanded range of medical grade cannabis extracts cultivated and produced as its Rio Negro facilities. So the PCLO has now been enabled to address customer product inquiries based on technical experience to date, combined with increased laboratory and processing capabilities, and allowing to begin the commercial production of significantly expanded range of extract products. So CBD isolate that now includes broad spectrum oil, CBD broad spectrum distillate, water soluble CBD, CBD tincture, CBD distillate tincture, full spectrum oil tincture, THC CBD formulations, and THC distillate. Now, the ability to offer a wide range of bulk products which vary in cannabinoid combinations, potency, and terpenes content is highly sought after in the medical and wellness sector, as some specific products deliver specific benefits, while others can deliver a full suite of cannabinoid benefits known as the entourage effect, said David Attard, the CEO of PCLO Limited. With our different formulations, we are also able to provide customers with the flexibility to formulate their final product according to the individual health and drug delivery systems needed. Now, each of PCLO's extracts are derived from unique and proprietary cultivars developed by the company's horticultural experts and research experts, optimized for year-round Colombian open field cultivation, with each extract profile reflecting the unique nature of the cultivar. By example, broad spectrum oil is carefully purified to yield a beautiful amber colored cannabinoid rich extract that features multiple cannabinoids including CBD, CBDA, CBG, CBC, CBDV, and complemented by a range of naturally occurring terpenes including pinene, limonene, lineol, and myrcenius as part of the attributes. Now, the expansion of PCLO's product portfolio comes on the heels of a multi-year investment in its processing and extraction capabilities, and the company has begun processing part of its formulations at the expanded facility and is in position to meet consumer demand for commercial volumes at consistent high-quality, purity, and potency levels required by healthcare standards. As we develop the new product range based on customer and prospect demand, our team placed a greater emphasis on ensuring we added water-soluble CBD extract to the mix. The development of this product in particular will enable PCLO to explore integration opportunities with major players in the health-oriented beverage and topical product segment of the market, which have expressed interest in CBD additives, added Attard. So PCLO getting some next generation products in there. Not the only Colombian-based company that's doing that. One World Pharma has also expanded some of their extraction and production capabilities. Chiron Life Sciences as well, a few others within that space, a little bit smaller, also doing the same thing. I do think that this is going to be, again, I've talked a lot about this and will probably repeat myself again over and over, but I really do think that Latin America and specifically Colombia right now is setting themselves up to be a really significant factor within the cannabis industry globally moving forward, especially when it comes to just being basically the broad provider of the base product. So whether you're dealing with cannabis flower, cannabis oil, CBD flour, I think that a lot of your bulk product is going to be coming from other parts of the world, not necessarily from American producers who, again, are really more of the premium market. That's where we've seen a lot of the success, whether it's in Canada or the US, has been focusing on premium niche quality products as opposed to bulk production. A lot of the bulk production we've seen from both the US and Canada has had a lot of difficulties with quality, has had a lot of difficulties with dryness, has had a lot of difficulties with training. All sorts of different factors have been scrutinized and criticized from both the consumer market as well as the actual industry market. I don't think that bulk production is what you're going to really see the main winner of within the North American market. I do think that that's more of an international export where you're going to see, again, Colombia, Israel, where they already have, again, a little bit more of a workforce and science backing group behind it, as well as the climate and the culture to do this effectively, cost effectively, and produce it quite efficiently. And I do think that now you're starting to see these companies, especially out of Colombia, start to focus on the next generation products, really being able to work with a lot of these companies who are going to be creating beverages and topicals and all these things. A lot of them are having difficulties when it comes to finding cheaply sourced isolate, distillate, oil, any of these things, and also reliability. And almost every one of these companies coming out of Colombia is EU GMP certified, so they have a lot of the scrutiny already covered, and they all are now getting approved for their export licenses, import licenses. I do think that they're going to be a big disruptor. For instance, within the Canadian company or Canadian space right now, Valens Growworks is really one of the only big players in the extract business that's doing white label extract production, is doing really, really well. That being said, there aren't a lot of competitors within North America and the US right now, or sorry, Canada and the US right now that are just focusing on that. There's lots of companies that are doing bulk growing or some sort of other thing, and they have extraction capabilities. There's lots of companies that are vertically integrated, but again, there aren't a lot of straight extract bulk producers that are coming onto the market right now, and a lot of them are coming out of international areas. So I think that's something everyone should be paying attention to over the next coming years, is how much these international companies start to really influence the overall market in North America. I do think it's going to be a lot more than people anticipate, and I do think that there's going to be some companies that really get just rolled over on just because of, again, the quality, the consistency, and the cost that you're going to be competing with out of some of these countries. And I do think that it's going to really beat the shit out of some of these large-scale producers that have been in Canada that have been really struggling to really produce a consistent and quality product. And I think that the niche market is much more what a North American producer should be looking at. That's all for today's podcast. And once again, today's podcast was sponsored by Cannabis Swiss Corporation, trading on the OTC as CSUI, a fully licensed cannabis cultivation and distribution company in Switzerland for recreational tobacco products and medical CBD oils. Company's products are laboratory tested to ensure that the end users have access to a standardized, safe, and consistent product. And Cannabis Swiss Corporation currently sells via a distribution network of Swiss retailers and online shops under the retail brand Alpine Cannabis. That's all for today's podcast. Podcast is now a certified word trademark on the blockchain through Cognate Incorporated CM certification. InvestorIdeas.com podcasts are also available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and TuneIn. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor of this podcast, please contact InvestorIdeas.com. Investor Ideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website, and this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products or services or securities. Investors are reminded that all investments involve risk and possible loss of investment. Investor Ideas does not condone the use of cannabis except where permissible by law. Our site does not possess, distribute, or sell cannabis products.